Holy cow. Welcome in, everybody, to today's DLLS Cowboys podcast. We got money to spend. What we going to do with it? Don't worry about what Jerry said. Don't worry about it. We say goodbye to Zack Martin as well. Lessons we can learn from the big guy, the Hall of Famer, and big names on the market.
Let's
Who you in
go!
on? All those things are coming up on this show. Meow. Shout out to everybody who's here before the show even starts. Special shout out to Cowboy Tone. It appears this is the first time catching us live from the beginning. We are proud to take your from the beginning virginity today. Mm-hmm.
Give us that cherry.
But we do appreciate everybody who is here. I think Matthew Hooks, if it's the same one, I think he worked at the Fan for a while or interned or something. I have a bad memory. But if it's the same guy, hi. Shout out to all of you who are always here to start the show. We love you. You're absolutely the best. And we have a lot of Cowboy stuff to get into today.
Hit that like button if you're here, though. Don't just be here. Be here and be present. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Put it in your group chat.
I'm thinking about doing a MySpace thing where we have like the top 8 viewers.
I don't think that works.
Because Claymore's in the
8?
mix, and City's in the mix, Jeremy's in the mix, Nesto's obviously in the mix. We've got a lot of people in the mix.
We might have a top
mix.
16. It might be a top 16.
We'll make it a top 104. Yeah, we'll do that.
All good.
I did, sir, with your show. Yeah, look at that. Same guy. What up? I hope life's treating you better than it's treating me. You see me, I'm just a streamer, just a content creator, trying to be an influencer. My name is Jeff. Jeff, give us a mock draft. It's not always mock draft time. When I go live at the house on my YouTube channel, the number of people are just like, do a mock draft. And I'm like, look, I'm not mock drafting on demand.
People want mock drafts, man.
Dude,
this is the season. This is the mock draft season.
You'll get plenty.
Give them what they want.
Jesse and I did a mock draft at the end of yesterday's show. Go check it. Fran Duffy for All City did a mock draft that we'll talk about in the 4th segment today. You'll get plenty. This is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
He's here.
I'm here.
Next to him, one of the greatest beat writers in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe.
Tell him something, Joe.
That's
so we
right.
had,
And our thoughts and prayers are with our pop.
Yep.
He's dealing with some family stuff down. But we're thinking about your pop.
the only way you can
T's and
make
P's, baby.
the only way you can make things feel better when things are rough
Is by going to Club Pop Off.
is with an upbeat tune.
Club Pop Pop, where legends drop. Clarence Hill just can't stop. Breaking news, you gotta hop in Club Pop Pop.
Love it.
Love it.
Love
Love
it.
it. Love it.
Genuinely gives me good vibes every time I hear it.
It does.
It's
it
a great
really
song.
does.
Club
It
Pop
does.
Pop is a wonderful song. Where Pop Pop? He's busy. Jeff, is it Lucy or did you break?
My boy's still Lucy'd out.
Day 4, baby. I don't even have a patch on. I'm just straight Lucian.
Whoa.
My boy's just outside.
I'm out here,
My
baby.
boy is outside.
Hey,
He's just outside.
if you're out there struggling with addiction, you're not alone. If you're having trouble kicking crack or meth, I feel you, brother. I got you. It's me and you. Just a couple of crackheads.
They said
You feel
nicotine is
bad?
like harder to beat than crack.
They say that dip is, if it's not the hardest in the world, it's the second hardest behind heroin.
Is it because of how accessible it is?
It's very accessible, and just the amount. Like, I had to look it up when I was having withdrawals when I went to Italy one time, and they don't have dip there, and that was bad. And the amount of nicotine that I was putting in my body was the equivalent of like 4 packs of cigarettes a day. A can of dip will get you.
That's
And
right.
we're trying to get away from that tobacco. We're going to Lucy it up, 8 milligrams, and then we're going to drop it to 4, and then we're going to be cruising.
Here we go.
It's going to be good.
I gave up soda for Lent.
Attaboy.
Yeah, that's my vice.
What are you drinking now?
It's sparkling water.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, soda makes you fat. And if I have soda, I'll drink the hell out of that soda. I can't have it at the house.
Guillotines called you Beffy Jeffy.
Yeah, I'm Meffy Jeffy.
Meffy Jeffy.
Meffy Jeffy.
It's wild. Yes.
Oh.
Jeffy.
Yeah, because he's Messy Jesse, but I'm Jeff. So I was Meffy Jeffy, but he
Meffy
thought it
Jeffy.
sounded like I said Methy.
Yeah,
Jeffy.
I heard
Sound-
Methy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely sound like Smeffy.
We should probably do the show, huh?
Yep.
We are. We're showing.
Zack Martin had his retirement thing yesterday, which Clarence warned us that it was probably going to turn into, because Jerry dodged his talking at the combine thing and he was going to be there. It was going to turn into talking to Jerry Jones about stuff thing.
Mhm.
But we do want to salute Zack Martin, one of the best to ever do it. Absolute badass, warrior, Hall of Famer, stud. Hate that you didn't get a Super Bowl ring. Sucks. But you're a badass, and thank you. That's all. Just thank you.
Yep.
For kicking ass and taking names for so long. But then, yeah, we did get Jerry Jones stuff. And they restructured Dak's contract yesterday.
Dak
much
is
like
so
CeeDee
selfless.
Lamb.
Oh.
Dak,
Much like CeeDee Lamb? Nope. CeeDee Lamb said he's trying to win. Dak, he's just being Dak.
well, he just didn't tweet.
Oh.
Dak should have sent out a tweet that said, "You're welcome, Cowboys Nation."
If
This
you
is-
don't tweet it, it didn't happen. If you don't put it on social media, you don't get credit for it.
Yeah, so the exact same thing as happened with CeeDee Lamb. We just need to change the words. People hear restructure, they think the guy's taking a pay cut or something is happening. It's just built-in things in the contract. The player has nothing to do with it. So much like CD, Dak did nothing yesterday, but they did move some of his accounting. I'm not going to say moved his money because that makes it sound like it went from a pocket to another pocket, or you get paid later, or you got paid earlier. None of that happens. They changed where things are located on a spreadsheet with Dak. And so now you got $54 million to spend, Dallas Cowboys.
It's a contractual conversion is kind of what I call
a
it.
conversion.
Conversion.
He converted.
Yeah, they got
Didn't
money to
happen
spend.
if Dak didn't tweet it. Dak, what's up, bro?
Dak needs to tweet out.
You got to tweet out.
Dak
You
needs to
got to
tweet
tweet out and let us know.
It's going to
so
take
that-
more than just me.
Yeah,
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
I did this for us,
for us. It's
Just
an
like-
us thing.
just like CD did. Is Zach top 10 O-line of all time? He's number 2 ever in the history of the world. Second best offensive lineman to ever play.
Who's number one?
Larry Allen.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that later.
Cowboy
but-
time.
No, anyone.
Ever.
Anyone. No one's ever had better O-linemen than this team.
It's definitely the best guard duo of Hall of Fame.
We had monsters. But anyway, we got $54 million to spend, and that's really exciting, right? When you clear that sort of cap space, it means that you're about to go sign players because there's no other thing that you can do with a whole bunch of cap space other than go sign players, which made it real weird what Jerry said immediately after, Joe.
Yeah, no. Jerry. We talked to Jerry off the podium for about 5-7 minutes. It was kind of quick. Usually on the bus at the combine, they'll talk for about an hour, maybe crack a few beers and do some things. But we talked with Jerry, and the one thing I'll tell you guys right now is yes, that was the money quote. What Jerry said about, hey, we don't have any voids to fill in free agency. We're good. I know we have all this money, but we're good, and that's what set off Cowboys Nation, understandably so. But one thing I'll tell you right now from what we heard yesterday, Jerry was very contradictory to his own self on a lot of different things. He said a lot of different things yesterday, and I think it's a further testament to the idea, yes, you're going to see a lot of quotes from Jerry Jones that are going to end up on Twitter screenshots and things with his face and little captions. We literally did it ourselves, but there's more to what Jerry says, and to be frank, I don't think you should buy everything Jerry Jones says, and I think you should actually follow the money rather than follow the words because it's hard to keep track of what Jerry Jones says.
And he's told you that before. Just because I say it doesn't make it true. And now he's 82 years old. And I say this with all due respect to old people. First, I do want to correct one person because this is my goal in life is to make all football fans smarter. Hammer said, Jeff, they changed the payment plan. No, they don't. No, they don't. Dak and CD, the amount they're getting paid and when did not change in any way, shape, or form. None. And they used to make it more confusing because they would say that they're converting this to a signing bonus, which would sound like you're giving me a bonus right now.
Yeah.
There is no money changing hands. They're just changing accounting. Nothing is changing for CD or Dak. They're just saying that on our books, we will count money later instead of now. There's no payment plan changing at all. So, yeah, Jerry's confusing, and rule number 1 is just don't listen when he talks unless it backs up something you already think.
Wait. That's agenda pushing.
Yeah.
Well, it's confirmation bias. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if there's
bias.
something I think and then Jerry says something, I'll be like, see?
No.
But if Jerry says something and I don't think that, I'll be like, you don't listen when Jerry talks. And so today's show is don't listen when Jerry talks. it doesn't mean anything.
Also, really quick before you go, but like they have a lot of free agency needs. Like when he says, no, we don't have any voids to fill in free agency. No, you got holes everywhere. Like literally, you look at screenshots of like when he said that and like reporters' reactions. There were a lot of like, huh? Because you have a lot of needs. That's apparent. So saying you don't have needs does not back up what we know.
He's 82.
Part of me wants to agree with you.
That he's 82?
That's factual. I agree with that.
He's 82. He shouldn't be speaking for an organization. He's 82.
Part of me wants to part of me says don't believe anything he says because he is 82. And sometimes he can say things that may not necessarily align with what the whole entire plan is, and they may keep some stuff from him probably.
I've known 82-year-olds, and my grandpa, when he was 82, knew one word: vodka.
Oh,
vodka. I don't think he made it to 82, but when he was old, he'd just look at you, and he couldn't see you, but he would be looking towards you because he could hear that you were there, and he would just say vodka.
But the other half of me wants to believe what he says. Because while we may see it from one perspective of you do have holes, you do have needs, he may look at it as I don't have any. He may look at it and go, you know what? Mozzie and Osa fill the need that you think we have.
3D lineman's all you need, Jesse.
Who's the third one?
Denzel Jackson.
I'm just saying, like, he may look at this thing differently.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying that's right? No. I'm just saying that a part of me says, you know what? Don't listen to anything he says. And then the other half of me says, listen to everything he says because we've outlined this. I've outlined this before throughout the season. He looks at things from a different perspective as owner, general manager, and president. Mm-hmm. While we may see things one way from an analyst's perspective or fan's perspective or a pundit's perspective, however, he looks at it and goes, well, these guys are on my roster. I'm paying them. I'm paying these coaches. You, coach, are going to now teach him to do what we need to do. Boom, 1 + 1 = 2 in his book. So there isn't a need specifically when he looks at certain things.
Yeah.
And we may look at it and go, well, that player may not be. And he says, you know, this coach that we hired and I'm giving this money to, he's going to now coach this player up to do exactly what we need them to do in this season. Whereas it eliminates a need that we may see that he doesn't see.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Don't listen to him.
No, you got to listen to him sometimes.
But you know who you should listen to, actually?
Me.
Is Steven.
Sometimes.
If you're trying to actually discern what the Cowboys might do, Steven is pretty forward about, I mean, he kind of does these little, at the end of the day, and he tries to be coy about some things, but if you kind of parse through it, he does tell you what they want to do. Like, he said, hey, earlier this offseason, we got to be active, get running backs, and we got to make a trade. And that's something we got to do just like we did with Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Cowboys make a trade, either before free agency or in the early part of free agency. Even Jerry talked about that a little bit yesterday. Like, hey, you know, the thing is, if you're going towards people, he said, if you're going to ask and knock on doors for moves for other teams, you're going to have to pay a tariff, is what he said when he was talking about paying a premium.
Oh, okay.
So, but at least
know who you voted for.
Yeah. But one thing that Steven said yesterday is we're looking for what fits and what works for us. Big names, in my mind, aren't always the answer. Big names don't always pan out as well. And I think that that's more indicative of what the Cowboys are planning to do, because you look at it, everything they tell you with the way the money moving is they're going to make something move, right? Why would you do Osa Odigizua as a $6 million cap hit in year one if you didn't plan to use that to actually go do something? Why would you restructure this money, aside from just the obvious conversion accounting of it, if you're not planning to actually utilize it? Micah Parsons, people are like, well, what about with Micah? Micah Parsons, you're going to save money in 2025 by extending him.
You don't need money to sign Micah. You're saving more money when you sign Micah.
Precisely. So I do think that they're going to make moves. The one thing I'd caution is I don't think they're going to do the huge mega deal to go get the biggest name on the market.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think that's fine. What they have to do is climb the free agency ladder from, I referenced Bill Barnwell because he separated every group into 6 tiers, right? Yeah. Like you have your all pros, and you got your good starters, and you got your whatever. The Cowboys go to tier 6 when they sign free agents. The very bottom. Come on up to 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't have to sign, although we'll talk about it later, and I sure wouldn't mind it. You don't have to sign Davante Adams, but you got to do something.
Yeah.
And, you know, the more details they give you when they talk, the more you should listen to them. Jerry just said words with no details. Doesn't matter. when Steven says, yeah, on the offensive line, we need to sign a tackle like Chuma to get that short up. We need to do something at guard, whether that's adding a guy pretty early in the draft or in free. That's a detail. Those things are things that they're going to happen, that are on the agenda, that they're not just making words. Jerry's just making words. Don't worry about it. They're going to sign guys. Just a matter of how good. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, lessons to be learned from Zack Martin, and a quote, when we're picking that high, you can't mess it up. Those things are next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
The season is here to you to get out the house and get to some games, get to some plays, get to some comedy shows, whatever it is. The weather is breaking. We're getting to the warm season. You want to go outside and you want to be a part of the people. How do you do it? You download the Game Time app. Go right there right now. Download the app, and I'm going to save you a couple dollars. Here's how you're going to do it. Download the Game Time app. You're going to use the promo code DLLS, and you are going to save $20 on your first purchase. What's great about the Game Time app is this. You don't have to wonder, where am I sitting? What does the views look like? Do I have a obstructive view? Is it up in the nosebleeds? When you tap on the seat, it's going to show you a panoramic view of where you're going to sit. And they curate this thing so you're not worried about all the negative fluff prices. The price that you see is the price that you're going to pay when you get to the payment option. So download the app today and get outside and go see some games. What time is it?
Game time. Also, shout out to our friends at Lucy. Lucy. This is my Lucy. There are many Lucy's, but this one is mine. I like my Lucy because I've been a dipper for 25 years, and I'm trying to get tobacco free. And with Lucy, they can help me out a little bit. This is 100% pure nicotine, but it's always tobacco free. The Lucy's Breakers, that's what this is. This is the Breakers. They're nicotine pouches, and they got a little extra surprise. I don't know if you can see it on here if I pull this thing out. I don't think you can zoom in enough, but I can see the breaker. It's right there in the middle. And what the breaker does is it's a little capsule that you break that open, and it lets out a little extra flavor and hydration for you. Set yourself up with a subscription. Have Lucy delivered straight to your door. They got gum, they got breakers, they got pouches, they got all sorts of things. And you need the promo code DLLS for 20% off your first order. Fine print. Lucy products only for adults of legal age. Every order is age verified. Contains nicotine. Nicotine's an addictive chemical. All right, goodbye to Zack Martin, our sweet, sweet prince or king, our prince or our king. He gone. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do to replace him. But it does lead to a conversation. Are there lessons to be learned from Zack Martin's existence, from his being picked as the 16th overall pick? Are there some parallels to where the Cowboys are right now? And I kind of want to let Joe set that up because you kind of brought this up in the pre-show.
Yeah, I'll set you guys up with kind of two ideas. The first one being that Zack Martin was the final piece for the Dallas Cowboys to build an offense that could be electric, right? And that's one thing they talked about is when he came in, they had a great offensive line already. He was the last piece. We talked with Tony Romo yesterday, and Tony Romo said, by the point of 2014, I had kind of gotten used to training camp when we had DeMarcus Ware and these other guys coming at me, and Jay Ratliff, and I had no time back in the pocket in training camp. That first snap in 2014 when Zack Martin was in there, he's like, oh, shoot, I've got time back here. He's like, hey, Jason Wynn, why don't you run this away and then run back, and then I'll hit you. I wrote that he had time to revel in the fact that he had time, which is kind of a fascinating thing. Obviously, it worked out for him because when you had the O-line fortified, DeMarco Murray went off that year, 1,800 yards rushing. He was fantastic. Tony Romo, a little bit older in his career at that point, he had the chance to actually kind of use play action and kind of, they were able to help out with the running game, have more pass protection in front of him. So I think that there might be a lesson to be learned in terms of building this Cowboys roster now that Dak Prescott's getting a little bit older, now that you're probably going to have another young running back in there. And then I think we talk about the draft so much. And I think one thing Stephen Jones said, we just talked about this, listen to Stephen Jones. He said this yesterday when he was reflecting on why the Cowboys chose Zack Martin, unanimously except for one person, over Johnny Manziel. And this is what he said.
Oh, hold on. What are the first words in the sentence so I know if you got it verbatim?
When you look at it.
Okay. It's not at the end of the day, but it's okay.
He did say it at the end of the day at some point in this
Okay.
quote. He's like, when you look at it and you're picking that high, 16th overall is what it was, you want to make sure you're right. And one thing, when you watch Zack on tape, it was hard to find anything that you didn't like about him. And just felt at the end of the day, he was the right guy for our football team.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. And I think the one thing that is interesting for that, and it better be interesting.
It better be. You don't
picking.
better be interesting yourself.
You do it.
We've got it.
You do it.
Do I?
Yeah.
All right, then go ahead.
Cowboys picking 12th this year, right? And this is a draft with a lot of questions. maybe do they, instead of going for the big flashy guy, the boomer bust guy, do they actually kind of take it safe and go for the guy that says, you know what, we're picking that high. We don't want to mess it up.
You know what I love?
You better love it.
I love being right.
You've never been right.
I love.
What are you going to twist to pretend you're right about something?
I love being right.
What?
These two things fit his agenda.
As much as people want to shame me,
Yeah,
and talk bad about me,
I do. Yeah.
They want to whisper my little failures,
No, I scream them things.
but they never want to scream my successes.
Yeah.
Because it's sounding more and more and more and more about the things that I have been talking about that this football team should do during the draft and during free agency. And that is what?
Draft Ashton Genty.
No,
sure
it's
thing.
it's not draft Ashton Genty.
Oh, sorry.
It is to continue to build and fortify the trenches. This offensive line. I have said it time and time and time again. Now, maybe we've just come full circle. We need to get our next Zack Martin or our next Tyron Smith. Whichever you prefer, I'm okay with.
We already have our next Tyron.
Yeah.
Picked him last year, first round.
First round.
No, I said Tyron.
Yeah.
Not
Left tackle.
Tyrant.
Yeah, the left
Tyrant.
Tyrant.
Not a tyrant.
Tyrant?
Not Tyron.
What kind of news are you breaking about Guyton?
I was going to say, good wordplay.
The news that you all know about him. But yes, I think that is correct. It was the proper pick when they did it with Zack Martin. And now that his career has come to an end, one of the things that the Cowboys should be wanting to do now is Dak Prescott. He's borderline. He is this close. And I'm not one of these close. He's this close. No. He's this close away before we start calling him injury prone.
Yeah, I don't know if he's that far away.
He's getting older in age. We know that he doesn't have the mobility that he once had. We know that you have to establish a running game. You want to give your quarterback more time. The only way to do that is to go get pieces similar to what you got in Zack Martin. It's solidifying and fortifying the offensive line. When you do that, everything that comes from that will prosper. You'll have a better running game. You'll have more time as a quarterback. In return, you'll be able to set up a better passing game. Better passing game, got to drop more guys in coverage. It all comes back to the forefront. I can run the ball better. So these are type of things that you have to do. But if you're trying to fill these other pieces and you're not solidifying that offensive line, you're going to keep running into the same issue over and over and over again. And that's not being able to protect, to run, and offensively, if you're not being able to do something offensively, this ain't 1995. This is not 2000. This is not a defensive led league. This is an offensive league. So you got to get your ducks in order for the offensive line to be secure.
I agree, and it drives me bonkers that
you agree?
No, yeah, well, yeah, that too. Yeah, because then I know I'm going to be wrong because I'm agreeing with you.
No, you're going to be right.
No, I would love if their first pick in the draft was an offensive lineman. I think that's one of the safer bets in the draft with multiple names. And I worry that they look at it when Jerry says that we don't need to fill voids in free agency. I feel like I know how they operate. They ain't writing off a first-round pick after 1 year.
No way.
And I'm not saying that you should.
Move them. You don't have to write them off. Just write them to another position. Just move them.
Or just acknowledge that, as Jerry has already done, like if we want to go to, again, the more details they use, the more they're telling the truth. After last season, Jerry told you. The evidence on the field told you, and then he said it with his words. The fact that your first-round left tackle was healthy and couldn't get on the field because Chuma Edoga was better than him, a journeyman, like that told you a lot. And then after the season, Jerry tells you, yeah, we kind of put a lot of eggs in that these draft guys are going to step right in and help us. And, that was a little too optimistic.
So he got over his skis, I think, too. Yeah.
So wouldn't it be a little too optimistic also to just assume that the guy who you wouldn't even let play over Chuma is going to show up and the world is going to be totally different? Like that he's just going to magically become a stud? I won't write off his NFL career. Maybe he's Terrence Steele's replacement a year from now. Maybe he could compete and win a job somewhere. Maybe he has a future as an NFL left tackle. But you're trying to win this year. And trying to win this year and showing up and just saying the first rounder who we absolutely were terrified to put on the field last year wouldn't do it, he's got this. Like, that's dumb. Yeah. And so if the best player on the board at number 12 overall plays left tackle, that's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer. And Guyton, we'll see at camp, and we'll figure it out. We're not kicking you off the team. We're going to see. Is there a spot out here we think you can compete for? Is there a spot that we think you can win? Whatever. But I know football teams and I know the Cowboys. I don't think they would pick a guy that is absolutely positively a left tackle, not potentially a right guard or a guy that is a left tackle. I don't think they'll block their first-round pick from a year ago because teams are afraid to do that. That would be saying that I'm wrong and saying it real fast. I don't think they'll do it.
I completely agree with you. And like even with Zack Martin yesterday, like Jerry Clarence is so funny, by the way. So he asked Jerry, he's like, so Jerry, was that the best mistake you've ever made? Zack Martin was not believing in him. And even he's like, yeah, it was the best wrong decision. I mean, the best right decision. Yeah. Because in his mind, he still made the right decision.
I made it. I let him do it.
I took Zack Martin. So to your point, I don't think that they're going to move off Tyler Guyton. We've already heard Connor Riley, a couple other people, Brian Schottenheimer specifically saying, you know what, he's been in there grinding. He hasn't played a lot of football. We're still trying to refine him. And I think Tyler Guyton is very talented. Whether or not it actually translates is obviously a whole other thing. But I think there's a reason you took him in the first round. There is talent there. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do to refine it, but there's talent there. So I think that they're going to talk themselves into that. I do think that there's a possibility, though, that you do draft someone with tackle guard versatility, a la maybe a Will Campbell, a la maybe a Kelvin Banks, that would at least give you the option to say, you know what? Hey, we thought Tyler Guyton would be the guy. We're 1 week into this thing, and he had 7 holdings and allowed 3 sacks. I'm sorry, we're going to give up now, even though...
You have 7 holds?
Huh?
Do you have 7 holds?
No, but I'm talking about like last. I was just saying in general.
Because I bet that if that number's right, that would be funny.
He had more than 7 holds.
Yeah, more than 7
last
holds.
season.
He had more than 7 holds last year?
Yeah. More than Zack Martin had his entire career.
That's hilarious. Yeah, because Zack Martin had 7 over 100 years.
This guy had...
I think it was 9. Yeah. I remember you used to look at it.
So he had as many Pro Bowls as Zach made as holds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't count on that. Don't count on that. That's all I ask.
I think
sign somebody, draft somebody, and then let him get in where he fits in. It's not kicking a guy off the team. It's not giving up on him. It's giving yourself the best chance to win. Don't be afraid to pick the same position again. What is that? The sunk cost fallacy?
Sunk cost fallacy, yeah.
You already picked him. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But where can we get better? And if the best player available plays that spot, that's also a premium position, that makes it a smart pick. Yeah. I cannot worry about Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, really quickly, too. Sorry, I cut you off, but they like Austin Richards and Brock Hoffman, too. I'm just telling you. They do like them a lot as guys.
And that's fine. I like a lot having Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, and Austin Richards on my team.
And TJ.
I like having them on my team because I think a lot of people, when a guy goes down, are super effed. Mm-hmm. And I think the Cowboys can survive. But I think that's supposed to be their roles, is can you help me survive for a bit until I get my guys back? I'm not trying to build an okay line. I want to go play with Philly. I want to play with Detroit. I want to play with Baltimore. I want to play with the teams that have the best lines. We got to see it. Not that they ever won a Super Bowl with it. But, boy, you had a better chance when you were mashing everybody. Your quarterbacks loved life when you could protect the hell out of them. I'd love for them to put a lot. Sign a guy, draft a guy high, do both, and then get to camp and say, welcome, boys. Tyler Smith has a job. Rest of y'all, let's get it.
Wasn't the lineman from the Eagles, Becton?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he drafted as a left tackle?
Yeah, right, and he became a guard. Mm-hmm.
And didn't work out.
Nope.
And it was bad. And people wrote him off and said that, he was done. And then someone said, you know what? You're big. You're athletic. We have a big and athletic line. You can maul people. Want to play guard?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Guyton can maul people at this point. But, yeah, you try everything.
So it's you don't have to say because you didn't work here, we're throwing you away. We can say, like I said, we can just transfer you over and try you at another position. And that way you could still be here and you can be a swing. You know what I mean? If something goes down, now, okay, we can use it at those positions. But to gamble on that again, I think sets you a little bit back next year heading into the season.
And we don't want to do that.
No.
Super Chats, we them boys. Jerry said no free agency, but nothing about trading for good players. Possible. We can talk about that in the next segment a little bit. Vance is in the Super Chat about getting the O-line better, to quote Jeff's good friend. What the hell is coaching for? Do all the best lines have all first-rounders? No, but you hit and miss in all sorts of rounds. The fact that a guy was a first-rounder doesn't mean that you just have to give him 4 years of a crack at it. Find you another guy. Let him get in where he fits in. Coming up next, free agency in or out. We got names on the market, baby. Are any of them a fit for the Cowboys? It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
If you're like me, you love a pair of good sunglasses. Also, you love a good deal. You love to save money, and I got all three for you right here. If you head over to shadyrays.com right now and use this promo code DLLS, you can get $35 off a pair of polarized sunglasses today. They have over 300,000 five-star reviews. They have different styles. They have different colors. They have all the things that you like. And if you get a pair and you decide, I don't really like these anymore, Shady Ray says, send them back. We will get you a new pair that you actually like, whether it's the color, whether it's the frames, whatever it is. If you break a pair, no problem. Send them back. They will send you a new pair back. And even if you lose them, Shady Ray say, we are so confident in the glasses that we make that if you lose a pair, we're going to get you another pair back in your hand. So head over to Shady Rays, use the promo code DLLS and get 35% off a pair of polarized glasses today.
Also, hello to our friends at Sleeper. Love Sleeper. Promo code's DLLS, boys. That's what you need to know. It's the best fantasy league platform out there, but we're also talking daily fantasy, making your picks. What do you think going into a game? Who is going to have more or less than their projected stats? I still can't name very many Dallas Mavericks, so it's hard to reference them here. But because they're all hurt, somebody on that team is going to have more points than is projected for them. Somebody's going to have more rebounds, more assists. Those numbers are out there for you. You can do this in football with passing yards, rushing yards, catches, touchdowns, whatever. You can do it in hockey with the goalies making saves. Guys
I got Bobrovsky right here.
You got Bobrovsky on there?
22 and a half, more or less.
Oh, he's going to have more than 22 and a half saves.
Come on, Sergey.
That's a starting point. Sometimes you have a pick on sale that's like damn near a gimme, and you're like, aha, put that one in there too. The more picks that you can buy, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. So new users, download the Sleeper app. Use the code DLLSBOYS. You get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Terms and conditions apply. Currently operational in over 25 states, including this one. Check out Sleeper. All right, it's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We're going to play a game of free agency in or out. I only have a few of the names here, so if you want to throw out other guys that you think the Cowboys should sign, I'll take them in the chat. We can fight it out. But we got some people getting released. We got people requesting trades. We got all sorts of things that are happening. And I want to start with our panel with a guy that I believe this happened this morning. Joey Bosa has been released by the Chargers. Mm-hmm. In or out?
I'm out. You're
out on Joey Bosa?
I'm out on Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa hasn't been healthy and hasn't been good for 4 years.
That's why you take chances.
I know,
it's
but
hopium.
I'm not a fan.
Hopium.
We talk about Dak being this close to being injury prone. I mean, what's the opposite of that for being injured? Yeah, you are already here, smashed, finger lost. I'm out on Joey.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out on Joey too. I think
I'm in on Joey.
You're in on
Whoa.
Joey. Wow.
I just like
I know that there seems to be some upside there, but once you start getting up there in age and you already come in with the injury baggage, it doesn't get better for you as you get older. You know that. Check your knee.
But that's the same body part over and over and over and over. What is he hurt? I don't know what all Joey's hurt.
A lot.
As you get older, you don't heal faster. Your body doesn't get more stronger. You're not bouncing back as you once did when you were 20 years old. So if you're already coming into this thing when you were in your prime as a hurt player, and now you're in your 30s, I can't bank on that. I can't bank on that. And you're gonna cost a little penny to get you over here. So I'm out on the old hurt guy.
The old hurt guy I really want,
especially in the trenches too.
The old hurt guy I really want is Tank, because I think there's the loyalty there. I think for whenever Tank Lawrence is healthy, for whatever team gets him, he's going to be a bargain.
He was there yesterday.
Was he there?
Yeah, at Zack Martin's.
I could see that. He's a sweet man.
Yeah.
Then he'll sit up there in a year or two and do the same thing.
Oh, and have his little press conference?
Yeah.
I guess, you don't have to be a Hall of Famer to get your little press conference. Although Romo called his own. He didn't get one. He called his own in the hallway. Coaches didn't even know about it. Another guy who's been released. You want some help for CD Lamb? Davante Adams. In or out?
I'm so in. But I think he's going to go to the West Coast.
I'm in on Davante for the reasons I've named. I want a full-size receiver.
I don't like that Joe didn't acknowledge the real reason he's in on Davante.
Because his high school teammate and receiver was Jock Peterson, who's also in Texas, so then they can hang out?
No, because he's got a Taco Bell in his house.
Oh, he does have a Taco Bell in his house. Davante, you and me, man. Crunchwrap Supremes on deck.
On what?
Deck.
Deck.
Oh.
That was an E.
Whoa.
Yeah, on deck.
Whoa.
Although if you
That would have went way south, way
to
fast.
the pure, all things are pure.
Whoa.
Okay.
I don't kink shame.
Whoa.
Crunchwrap Supremes.
I don't kink shame.
If you want your Taco Supremes like that, more power to you.
I said Crunchwrap Supremes.
Oh. More power to
Sorry,
you.
back to Davante.
I'm in on Davante. I appreciate the full-size route running receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you have some that can do it the smaller size. Give me the 6'1", 6'2" guy who can win at the line of scrimmage, who can run routes. And I know that Davante is up there in age a little bit, 32. But I'm not looking for him to be Davante that we saw in Green Bay. I just need you to be Robin now. So I think he has enough in him to be Robin and to be a really good Robin to CD Lamb. And all that he brings, the knowledge of the game, the experience of the game, and he still has the ability, when called upon, to make the big plays for you. So for me, Davante just sounds like the absolute right pick for the Cowboys to go opposite CD Lamb. Now, I don't know. He may have this man crush with Aaron Rodgers and want to go everywhere Aaron Rodgers go. I'm not even sure Aaron Rodgers may have a job.
I'm with you on that.
In 2025.
I'm with you on that.
So if he's waiting on to see where Aaron Rodgers goes, I don't know if Aaron is actually going to be employed in this league in 2025. Not saying that he won't, just not saying that I'm sure that he will be.
I could actually see Davante going not back to Aaron, but back to Green Bay.
Whoa.
Like, that's a team that's desperate for somebody to be the leader of a receiving core.
Yeah,
Like,
but
they got a bunch of guys.
Okay, yeah,
if they had a
contenders.
dude
They're
and a bunch of
contenders.
guys, then I think that could make sense. I'm in on Davante too. It's just you would need the league, unless the Cowboys are going to really surprise us. Like, I do think they're going to do free agency. They're going to sign starter level players in free agency. I believe that. But if Davante's market is as a $25 million player, then I don't think the Cowboys are going to touch that.
Yeah.
If he's a $15 to $20 million player,
Does it help
Then
that
maybe.
the Jets are eating a lot of the money that they have owed to him?
well, he's released, right?
Yeah, he's released.
He's out of there. He has no contract. So you're signing him to whatever you're signing him to.
right, but this is a double dip situation.
Oh, in
This is
terms
the
of
double-
him not being worried about
Right.
it?
So,
but I think
like-
he wants to take advantage of the double dip.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like, so he can double dip and maybe not ask for as much because he's like, well, I'm already getting this over here, so
That
maybe
don't
I
help
can
us.
get. Okay.
That don't,
Taco Bell's getting expensive
right?
this
That
day.
helps the teams that are closer to the Super Bowl, right?
Probably.
But I'm in. I think that would be, I'm exact same as you. Like, Keenan Allen's probably washed, but all of the guys that are full size, run good routes and can separate, those are my dudes.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are my dudes. Anybody can separate if you're 5'10", 185. Yeah, you're quick. But when you're big and nuanced and a route running MFer, those are my people. Bring me Davante Adams or bring me death. Don't bring me death.
Oh, Captain Thunder's here.
Oh, Captain Thunder, hell yeah.
Okay.
Ike's in the super chat first. Can't listen to sleepy Jerry Jones. Love you guys.
Then listen to
Let's
us.
see what Captain Thunder's got today. Was signing greedy Dak last year the worst move Jerry made in 30 years? It's a bad dream. We pay greedy, inaccurate, broken down, failed QB $60 million, hashtag cut greedy Dak. That's interesting. I would have thought that today you would have been celebrating him as Dak very unselfishly was willing to restructure his contract
Well, he didn't tweet it
in
out.
order
so we're
to
not
make
giving him
the
credit.
team back.
He didn't tweet it out.
A very selfless day from Dak, and to attack him on this day, I just don't understand. Free agency in or out? Got to get my screensaver to turn off here, although those mountains in that lake look pretty. Christian Kirk has been released, another wide receiver. Are you in or out on Christian Kirk?
I'm in. Yeah. I think Christian Kirk kind of gives you that. Kind of reminds me almost of what we thought we'd get with Brandon Cooks a little bit, but less refined. I think that's kind of speed option, someone who can kind of, take things and kind of extend the field a little bit. I don't hate that as a Robin.
I texted you guys yesterday about Christian Kirk.
I didn't get it. I didn't get the text.
I wouldn't be mad at Christian Kirk.
I don't hate it.
But it wouldn't necessarily fulfill the need that I wanted at the position. But I can definitely see Christian Kirk being a Cowboy signee. 100% I can see it. So for me, I'm in. I'm in, but I'm not in cheerfully.
Yeah.
I'm not in cheerfully, but if it happened, I would be like, okay, I can get with it, just not totally super excited about it.
When you texted us, and I got the text because I responded to the text.
I'm like, yeah, you did respond to the text.
responded
I was
to the
like,
text.
I thought I was tripping for a
I
second.
was like, you did respond to the text.
And then I think I mentioned the text on Twitter, and then Kit Kat got pissed. She was like, "Oh, y'all got a text group without me?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do." But anyway, Christian Kirk falls into the same category. I think if you let me pick which one, I would pick Hollywood Brown for more of the speed element.
Yeah.
But then Christian Kirk probably brings more of the what you consider Dak friendly, where like he has some speed element to his game, but he's also developed into some route run to his game. Like he's got a little well-rounded skill set to him. And so either one of those guys, I think, fall in between like, I want Davante Adams, and the Cowboys are like, we want to sign no one and play Jonathan Mingo. And like, I do think the happy median between what we want and what the Cowboys might usually do is Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown, 2 years, $20 million. Like, no, we're not going to get you a big dog. No, you're not going to feel like this guy's going to come kick ass, but we can maybe upgrade a little bit. So I'm in.
We got McDonald's at home.
I'm in the same way Jesse's in, where I wouldn't be like, yes, but I'd be like, that helps.
Yeah.
And help is good.
There's another receiver that was released yesterday who I think just fits Cowboys.
Cooper Kupp?
No.
Oh, who got released yesterday?
Tyler Lockett.
I've always been a huge Tyler Lockett fan, and I think I've had to come to grips with, I think amongst the names we've mentioned, more washed
I agree with
than
that.
the rest of them.
I also think Brian Schottenheimer likes him a lot. I asked Cavante.
I could throw him in the mix.
I asked Brian Schottenheimer because we were talking about Cavante Turpin last year, and I was just like, okay, well, where's the next step for him? And he's like, well, for his size, he has to be better at contested catches and tracking deep balls and stuff like that. And he's like, he needs to be more like Tyler Lockett.
So they're going to bring in Tyler Lockett and be like, hey, I said you need to be more like this guy. What I meant was you can watch him play.
Facts. I can see it.
Get back there and return him.
I think
cheap. I can see it.
When you watch Tyler Lockett when he was like really in his bag, Turpin's far from that.
Yeah, as
Turpin
receivers.
could beat him in a foot race, but boy, you could not beat him at route running nuance and
Yeah.
tempo changing. And
No.
Tyler Lockett was a great
And
contested
tracking,
catch guy.
Like, he the way he tracked the football.
Yeah.
When the ball was in the air was really good. And, most famously, he kind of reminded you of what Marvin Harrison, when Isaac Bruce at their late stage of their career, when anytime contact was near, they were getting down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bet I get open, though.
Yeah,
Bet I catch it.
I'm going to get open and I'm going to get down. Like, you're not going to hit me. I'm not taking unnecessary hits. One name that still hasn't quite come out just yet that I am still holding hope for. Maybe you guys
Mike
may not feel the
McDaniels?
same.
Johnny Manziel.
Mike McDaniel.
No. I'm still holding hope for
Randy Moss.
Tyreek
that
Hill.
the Washington Commanders do not find a trade partner and they just flat out release. That's been the conversation. They're looking for a trade partner, but they just release Jonathan Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Allen helps. I want everybody to know that he's not what he was. I need everybody to know that. But also sometimes change of scenery. But like, what about Washington wouldn't be good? I don't know. But he's just, I mean, he's not I don't think he is what he was. But he's better than anything we got not named Osa.
Yeah.
It makes sense as a potential Cowboy signing. They like to get guys, former first-round picks, who have kind of washed out and need to change the scenery. I could see it.
DK Metcalf requested a trade.
First and third is what they're looking for. 1 and a 3.
First and a third?
Yeah, they ain't getting that.
Okay, well, let me just – that's one hand, 2 hands in the bush, doo-doo in the other. If it costs you a third-round pick, but then you have to pay him, are you in or out?
No.
I'm in. Yeah.
Because he wants $30 million.
Right. You'd have to give him $25 to $30 million a year on a new contract and give up a third, first and third.
Would you give Trayvon Diggs too?
We'll give you Trayvon Diggs. Yeah. Now we're in. Now we're cooking.
Can't trade Trayvon.
Our buddy Fran Duffy put out a mock draft. I know that because Joe was editing it before the show. And if it's a name I respect and a mock draft comes out, your boy is in. Let's go mocking next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Somebody said Allen's still better than Osa. He's absolutely not. Go watch him. He's absolutely not. But he's better than everything else we got. So he would be our second best D tackle. He's better than Mozzie. Sign up to be a diehard. What a great day to sign up to be a diehard. Spring training intro offer still going on. $48 for an entire year. What? Say what? What a great deal. What are y'all pointing at?
The bar.
The bar.
Y'all getting to the... there's a QR code on the screen.
Code, right.
Bing, bing, bing.
If you're watching us. If you're not watching us, you can't get to the QR code
right there.
that helps you sign up to be a diehard. So you would just go to alldlls.com/diehard. And that's how you would sign up to be a diehard. It's a great time now with draft season. Get you access to all of our draft content that Fran Duffy does, and it's absolutely incredible stuff. Fine work, some of the best in the business. And on top of that, you get the things you always get when you sign up to be a diehard. One is a free T-shirt from our merch store as soon as you sign up, and there are super awesome T-shirts in the merch store. Then you get 20% off on any other merch that you want to get, and our DLLS merch goes hard.
It does.
It goes hard.
In the paint. Hard in the mother paint.
A lot of cool stuff, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of good-looking stuff. And hurry up, get your St. Patty's stuff.
St. Patty's Day.
Get up in there.
I can't guarantee this, but I'm guaranteed it will. If you get it today, it'll be here before St. Patty's Day.
You promise?
Pinky.
Somebody told you that? Or you just think that?
I'm just shooting from the hip.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it.
I'm just shooting from the hip. I'm putting the pressure on them
to deliver. All right, that's a lawsuit coming. That's great. Yep. Sign up. Be part of the class action lawsuit against us if it doesn't show up in time. You get access to our Discord lounge, which is badass. Place to just hang out and have ourselves a time. You get a diehard carrying card, which I still haven't gotten, but I'm waiting patiently.
It's on the
no
way.
Big deal. You get 20% off the events we have. All sorts of hookups when you sign up to be a diehard, and it's at a discount right now. alldlls.com/diehard. All right, we're going mocking, but here's the thing.
Now hold on. Let's pull
I saw that
Let's
comment.
pull that up right there.
Let's
pull it up. Yeah, let's pull it up.
No.
Let's pull. Yeah. I am.
No.
I am. And the more I hang around y'all, and the more that we kind of get more and more into this draft thing, and
you feel like you got a handle on the GM job now, working your way.
I'm just saying, I don't know all the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest numbers guy.
It sounds like what you're saying right now is that one of us should be the GM because you're saying you're learning enough to think that you could be the GM from us.
No. Being around you guys have made me want to do the coaching GM thing because you guys are all like drafted out.
Yeah.
I could put together a team.
I got an idea.
I got an idea.
What if we talked to All City, to Brandon, and we bought an indoor football league team, and we were the GMs of the IFL team? And
I don't know where to find the talent for that.
We can.
Actually, I do.
Yeah, I was going to say
if my friends are willing to put pads back on, but I don't think that's going to happen.
We're gonna
I can
get
you the U.S. Olympic flag team.
We can do it.
I can find talent.
We can do it.
I can hide talent.
We can do it.
Where are you going to find it?
We're going to find it.
Just walking.
We beat the street.
Just hey, you.
College universities.
D3s and D2s.
I had buddies who played for the one. They played Mesquite, somewhere in Mesquite.
That's what I'm saying.
They played indoor in pads, and I had some flag buddies that played out there. You know what their problem was?
That's right, Nesto. That's right.
They couldn't find linemen.
That's right. I'll be the Black Howie.
Yeah, you could be the Black Howie.
I'll be the Black Howie.
I know how to put stuff off to later better than anyone in the world.
Okay, so there's our capologist. Hold on, we get the capologist.
I don't get around to doing anything ever. Like I can push some stuff
What's
back.
gonna be your role, Joe?
PR.
All right,
I'll handle PR.
I like that.
And I'll help with draft stuff.
Protect us.
Yeah.
our buddy Fran Duffy, 3-round mock draft, I'm told.
3?
But, Joe, you're going to have to help us because I don't know who he took. Is it posted? Can I look it up
it's
now?
posted.
Oh, it's up?
You can look at it right now.
Oh, okay. Let me get on.
One thing I'll tell you about that mock draft, if you sign up to be a diehard today, you get access to all of it.
So we're not going to give you everything. We just tell you a little something. Fran Duffy mock draft 2.0.
I think we could give 2 of the 3 picks, maybe.
I'll give all 3.
We can give all 3.
Look.
I'll tell you this.
He's going to do another one.
And on top of that, like you could also, like, the mock has 100 picks in it. And
it's
even
cool.
as a Cowboy fan, I want to see what's happening before and after and who it could have been and all those things. People are still going to get.
Well, as I was editing it earlier, I was reading off names to you, and there were some like interesting like fits too. Like, I'll give you one. Our guy Jahad Campbell, right, to the Houston Texans at 25, and I'm like, okay, so D'Amico Ryans in this case gets his D'Amico Ryans, and I love that. Anyways, there's a lot of cool picks on this. And we're going to dive into the Cowboy stuff, but some good ones.
And this is, again, the most random draft in the world. Because, for instance, I'm looking at the guy that he had drafted 11th.
Yeah.
That Fran had 11th in his mock draft.
I know.
It's the guy who went 32nd in my buddy Dane Brugler's mock draft.
Yeah.
This is the wildest ass draft ever in terms of trying to put these guys in order and guess where they're going to go. Because there's 2 or 3 premier players and then 50 dudes that can help you.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about them? And so for the Dallas Cowboys, I will tell you, Ashton Genty, not available. He's a Raider. The Raiders. At number 6.
They got better on their offensive line, too. They just signed a guy.
Alex Kappa.
Alex Kappa.
Kappa's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
Is he a C or a K?
C.
He's a C.
He is a C.
C-A-P-P-A.
Yep.
At number 12, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama.
Jesse's agenda.
Get that old line going. Don't let the combine freak you out too much. If you're a big combine person, Tyler Booker did not have a good combine. Tyler Booker is not a premier athlete at guard. Tyler Booker is more of a, I'm going to be here and you're going to be there. And when they snap this thing, we are going that way. Not just me. We are going that way.
When they played the montage of Zack Martin's, one of the first things he said when they asked him about what kind of player you going to be, and he said, "I'm going to be a consistent player. What you get from me, you will get from me every single day."
Bro, he lived it.
That's all you need. You don't have, like, when you're talking
Tyler
about
Booker.
That's what I'm saying.
He's the same guy every play.
That's what I'm saying. If the same guy every play is a dude who is consistent, I know that I can set my watch to him in a good way, because I don't want you to be consistently bad.
Yeah.
But in a good way, that's a plug and play pro for me.
Yeah.
That's a guy who I can put at that spot and just move on to the next thing because he's going to show up every single day the same way, and I can bank on it. I can know that position is going to be good for the next 5 to 10 years because that's the kind of player that I'm getting. That's safe sounds scary, but safe is good.
Yeah, safe's not bad. Safe's not bad. And this is going to be a meat and potatoes draft. This is not you're not going to have a bunch of Hall of Famers come out of this draft. Now,
Giovanni says Booker is a Nate Newton kind of guard. I'll take him.
Yeah, he's the same speed that Nate Newton is today.
I'll take him.
That's how fat. No, Tyler Booker is not going to be your like, oh my God, he's so incredible at pulling and in space, and like he's going to be. We're moving these people. We want to move these people. Let's move these people.
Listen, give me a mountain mover any day.
I mean, in that trio you have too then, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Booker. That's something theoretically you could build around.
You'd be moving people. I wouldn't mind Tyler Booker at 12.
Don't know if I can take another Tyler in there, though. There's way too many Tylers going on.
I think if we could do that, and then I think we could take Jalen Knoll in the 3rd round as a wide receiver out of Iowa State, because I think we need all the Tylers, and then at receiver we need all the Jalens.
I like it.
Yeah.
And at quarterback, all the Dakota. No, never mind.
No, we're going to run out of them.
Yep.
In the 2nd round, we'll see. He could go 30 picks before this.
Or he could go this point because of some other things.
Mike Green, Marshall. Mike Green's a pass rusher at Marshall. He led the nation in sacks. He played a game against Ohio State, which made me send a text because my rule is if you played a small school, I only want to see the best team you played against because I don't care what you did to the guys who can't play. And boy, when I tell you, Ohio State had to know that's their best player. What are we going to do about it? And Ohio State got their ass whipped by Mike Green at Marshall.
Yep.
Now, they should have helped their right tackle because it made me send a text to a friend of mine. I was like, right tackle Ohio State, is that an NFL guy? And he was like, absolutely not. And I was like, damn it. So I still don't know. But boy, he destroyed him. He's a smaller edge rusher, but way stronger than you would think, has a pass rush plan, has moves. If he played at a bigger school and put together that tape, he would be talked about with Abdul Carter. It'd be like, who are you going to take?
Yeah.
But it's Marshall, and you don't have tape of him against monsters. And now he's got some stuff coming out about him. He might have done some stuff in high school and might have some stuff. There's a potential he's a top 15 pick. And there's a potential that as small school pass rusher, if people like other people, I suppose it's possible he makes it to 44. But if he makes it to 44, I agree with everybody saying that's a Cowboys second-round pick. Like, there's some stuff out there. And, it's not an injury, but there's some stuff out there.
Such a Cowboy second-round pick.
I support it. Having not read into all the stuff.
Journalistically, I question it, but on the field, I support it.
I mean, when they drafted a certain offensive lineman a few years ago, I, on their own platform, teed off on the team, and they did not like that. Because we interviewed the guy after he was picked, and I asked him about the things, and he was like, passed. Not worried about it. And I'm like, oh, well, her trauma's still there.
Yeah. About the potential murder? Well, not the potential murder. Someone did die.
Oh, you talking about LC?
Yeah.
No, that was a thing that he ended up having nothing to do with. He just happened to have dated her formerly. No, I'm talking about a guy who had an offensive lineman who had some stuff in the past where he did do some stuff to people.
I got you.
Yeah. But anyway, Mike Green, if he were there at 44, yes, all day. All day, all day. I had to do some more research. But the player, my God, all day.
We need to find out more. But the player is talented.
I'm a little prejudiced against the small schools for a small guy at a small school.
Yeah. I think DeMarcus Ware sucked too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Khalil Mack was terrible.
Third round. Cowboys pick. I like the silent treatment. You're just like, okay, go ahead. Fire away. That's cool. Third round Dallas Cowboys selection. Running back, Caleb with a K. Johnson, Iowa, which is somebody that I think for the most part has been projected higher, but I could see other running backs going before him because we exist in a world where I think you want your running. Caleb Johnson is bell cow. Yeah. He is bell cow zone running back. Like how Derrick Henry comes off the damn field on 2nd and 9 because they're like, well, you ain't going to catch the ball. I don't know that he's to that extreme, but he's not super involved in the passing game as a receiver. He's we're going to hand this thing to you 25 times today, and you're going to maximize every single run. You're going to see exactly where the hole's developing. The foot's going in the ground. Your 220 pounds have kicked their ass on your way forward. He's a really, really good running back. And I could see guys who people view as weapons in the receiving game too, maybe going before him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the 3rd running back picked. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the 6th running back picked. If you ended up with Caleb Johnson, well, I think Fran got you a damn haul.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I think. I think Fran got you a damn haul in this draft is what he did.
The biggest thing from all of those picks, because we're talking about your first 3 picks in the draft, they got to go to work today.
Yeah.
Right? Like these aren't guys who we can wait on. These guys have to go to work today. And if you're telling me in those first 3 picks, I got 3 dudes who can go to work today and help my football team.
Yeah, you got a starting right guard, a starting running back, and an edge guy that maybe Sam or Marshawn starts in front of him, but that dude's playing.
And I'm not looking for these guys. Like, I don't think this is a draft where you're looking for your future Hall of Famer or your 10-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first-team All-Pro.
Unless it's Ashton JT.
But I'm like with those names, you give me guys that can go to work today and do a damn good job.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like that is what the Cowboys need. That's how you fill the holes. Is I'm going to get guys that the draft is already a 50-50 proposition. And every round that you go deeper into the draft, that the odds get further and further away from you actually being able to have this guy as a regular everyday starter. Right? Some guys may be rotational pieces, but a lot of times the deeper you get into the draft, the less and less of those guys will be able to help you at least long term.
Right.
If you're telling me in the first 3 picks, I got three hard hats I can go to work, I'm happy.
I also like the running back later if you address the offensive line or something like that first, because I think Ashton Jeanty can make up for some deficiencies. Frankly, that's why I love him.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you just said you like the running back later?
You didn't let me finish. I think if contingent on you doing some other things to address the offensive line, I like a running back later like Caleb Johnson.
Okay. I just make sure you're just doing some Jeanty hate. Nesto and Super Chat, but isn't Clayton Adams' offensive philosophy, pin, pulls, traps? Can Booker fit in that if he's not fast? I would say his strength is not as a polar. I'm not saying he can't do it, right. But his strength is consistently like, you ain't moving me. I have the anchor. I can move you in the run game. But no, he's not going to be your nifty polar.
Yeah. Will Hernandez, 5.15, 40-yard dash. That was the Arizona guy. Tyler Booker, 5.3.
Yeah. They can make it work. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow if tomorrow's a weekday. I never know what day it is. But remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you.
Eliminate the contingencies.
We're out.
We all silly like the mayor.